In just a few short minutes, I'm going to show you guys how to take your Reaper productions from sounding like this to this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Make the Music, and today's video I'm going to show you guys how to finish off your productions in Reaper by adding the right elements at the right time to create a very full and filled out arrangement that makes your song sound professional. That's why today I'm including a free Reaper template in the description down below if you click the link. This template maps out the kind of tracks that you should have in a standard rock pop track to help you finish out your arrangement. So it's a template, it's color coded, and it gives you an idea of what elements maybe you should include in your production to get that full fleshed out sound. So go ahead and check that out in the description down below. Okay, I'm going to dive into the Reaper session and I'm going to discuss how to fill out this arrangement to get this song really popping and sounding professional and stream ready. Okay, so this is my Reaper session here. I'm going to play through what my production was before I added these elements and then the different elements I did add to finally flesh it out. So let's go to the chorus again here. All right, like this sounds totally fine. I'm just going to mute the vocal real quick because that delay is going to keep popping in there. I mean, it sounds fine. It sounds good. There's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't sound full like a professional production. That's what we're trying to achieve in our home studio. So the first thing I did was revamp the drums by adding in some percussive layers and some different swells and other elements like that. So these are what the drums sounded like before I added these different elements in. And, you know, that sounds fine. That's just using an Easy Drummer 3 patch. You know, that's a very inexpensive drum program there. And I'm just using one of the base kits. It sounded good, but, you know, it just lacks a bit of energy. It lacks a bit of feeling fleshed out. So one thing I did was add this swell crash. And it's really easy to do in Reaper. All you do is map out a crash in Easy Drummer 3, render it, and then just reverse into it. And you get this kind of sound. It's really, really dynamic. And it just has a bit of a swell feeling into that final chorus, a bit of a build up. Let me put that with the drums. Just adds a bit of layer of dynamic there. I always like to add shaker and tambourine elements to my tracks. These are just Easy Drummer 3 shaker and tambourine tracks added in, and I just rendered them down, and they sound like this. So you can see one's kind of sounding left center, the other one's right center. I like to put them either far right and left or somewhere in the middle there. And they just kind of fill out and add some stereo width to the percussive elements. So I have the swell crash, I have the shaker and tambourine and my drums, and they sound like this together. Already the production's sounding a lot better. And in the very, very final chorus with the guitar solo, I added these samples here. There's a clap sample, or a snap, I should say, and then this clap. Just on the snare hits to add a little bit of body to them and make the track build. So now that I have everything included in the drums, it sounds like this going into the final part of the song. And it's these subtle layers added in texture that really help fill out the drum performance. Next, we're going to talk about guitars. Yes, it's great to have a guitar pan left and right with different tones for some width, but you always got to add in some lead sounds to add some texture. So these are what my rhythm guitars sounded like. So like they sound fine, but we need some more texture. So I added in this lead part here. Super chorusy, almost like a synth pad, but adds in a lot of dynamic. And then I added in this sort of lead sound at the bottom. Certainly a lot more interesting than just those two rhythm guitars. And of course, I added the guitar solo in the final part of the song. So adding in just those small guitar textures, they don't have to be crazy boosted in volume. They don't have to be super loud, but just a little bit of extra texturing can really take your track a long way and make it sound professional than just two guitars panned right and left. Also adds more dynamics by adding more tracks as the song goes on. Next, we're going to discuss the other layers added, which is acoustic guitars. Guys, if you're not leveraging acoustic guitars in your recordings, especially if you're doing rock and pop stuff, it really adds a nice organic feel to your track, especially when they're mic'd up. So in the home studio, we're doing a lot of drums with virtual plugins, guitar amps using guitar amp plugins. It's nice to have some mic'd up instruments where someone can hear your fingers on the strings. It feels organic. I think it's just invaluable to add those to a track. So what I did is just really simple. I tracked two acoustic guitars, the same exact part, pan them right and left, and this is the kind of sound we get. If you want to know how to mix these tracks better, I did a video right here called How to Mix Guitars in Reaper, and I cover how I like to mix acoustic guitars using mostly free and stock plugins to get that sound. So these are just two guitars panned right and left. Super thin pick, just recorded 1 foot away from my microphone, and it just becomes a nice texture piece. And in the last chorus part, I added the center acoustic guitar piece playing a lead. When you combine those with the electric guitars, just really gives the track a nice feel. Let's go into it here. So you can see those just live on the sides there, add an organic piece to the guitars, and really helps flesh out the arrangement. Now let's talk about some additional layers like strings. So what I did here is I had 4 main string parts in this final chorus, and it sounded good, but it just felt like it wasn't full enough. They're just expand string patches playing basic chords. But I really wanted to layer things. And when it comes to strings and virtual instruments, I think adding a lot of warm organic layers, panning them, really helps get rid of the synthetic feel of any plugin you're using. So I added a bunch of these strings. Let me solo you what I added. And I did them an octave up. Another great tip with strings and virtual instruments is add an additional octave below and above. It really helps out fill out the string arrangement here. And there's even more parts as we head into the solo arrangement. Using some woodwinds and violins, and those all combine together to sound like this. If I remove all the strings from the arrangement, it sounds good with guitars and piano, but the strings just add another layer of dynamics to it. If you want to know if you should add some strings or you need a template to add some strings to your Reaper recordings, just get that free template down below. Last thing, vocals. Now, vocal layering is super important to getting a pro sounding recording. For this chorus, I just had one lead vocal and it just wasn't enough. You can see it just doesn't fill out the arrangement. It doesn't build like it should. Beams go up like balloons, and the things that you're not meant to lose. Like it's fine, but it doesn't sound finished. So I added all these vocal layers in. What kind of vocal layers I'm adding? I'm adding doubles. Okay, so the same part recorded again, panned left and right. I'm adding different harmonies, so different notes to the arrangement and lower octaves. They can all combine to create a really fleshed out vocal sound. Let me solo just the vocals here with all the layers added in. Beams go up like balloons, and the things that you're not meant to lose. So there's multiple harmonies here, there's doubles. Beams go up like balloons. Different harmony parts here, let me solo those. Dreams go up like balloons. Those are heavily tuned because harmonies are a little more difficult to sing than the regular part, but they all combine together to create this finished vocal sound.
And the time you took to look at all you've lost.
And really, by playing with those vocal layers, you can see I bring them in and out during different part of the course to emphasize different parts of the course and different lyrics to really bring that emotional impact. So all together, we added some electric guitar parts, some drum parts, including tambourines, shakers, different percussion. We added some acoustic guitars, string layers, and some additional vocal layers to take our production to the next level. Let me play you the after now that we're done with all that.
Up like balloons, and the things that you're not meant to lose.
So that's how to take our production to the next level and finish our song in Reaper in terms of the production stage to get a full sounding arrangement. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you like to use and what instruments do you like to use to finish off your productions to get that finished, full, professional, stream ready sound. Like I said, you can pick up my Reaper template down below in the description box. I also have a bunch of free guides to help you guys get amazing free plugins to use in your software to help you get pro sounding recordings and mixes without spending a bunch of money. I have other videos on my channel as well covering that you can check out down below. Thank you so much for watching anyways, and I will see you guys next time.